Hey, it's me, GV, and welcome to GV Guides, ladies and gentlemen, where we are guiding the rise of the Golden Idol, which is a very difficult puzzle game. Oh man, some of these levels really took me a long time. I'm figuring them all out naturally, by the way. I'm not looking up guides or anything, which is the fun of this game, obviously. But yeah, it's difficult. Like, if you're not experienced with this type of game, which I'm not experienced with this type of game, but I love this type of game, so I love trying to figure it all out. It can be very, very hard. Anyways, we're jumping into level 3 of chapter 1, which is, I forget what it's called, but I'll put it in the title. And this one was a doozy. This took me a long time to figure out. So let's start. We got all these puzzles down here. Let's start with the names. We know that this is Roy Sampson from the previous level. We know that this is Ian Worth from the previous level. The detectives, they have their names in their, badges with the ID, whatever. And then also we know this is Sebastian Walsh because they refer to him as Sebastian. And then also if they talk about going into his office and stuff, if we go into his office, we will see this computer which refers to him as Mr. Walsh. And yeah, this is his office. So we know that he's Sebastian Walsh. And there's a lot of hints as well that... how the heck do we get back out of here? Yeah, there we go. There's a lot of hints as well that this lady here is Elizabeth Nowak, the daughter of Isaac Nowak, who also refers to the person to her left as Jack. And then I believe if we enter the police chief's room here, we can see right here, living relatives Elizabeth Nowak, Adam Nowak, and Jack Nowak. So, yeah, she also has a letter on her that says EN, so we know that that's Elizabeth Nowak, and we know that that's Jack Nowak. So that's all of the names there in this particular level. Then we have to figure out what's going on in the conference, which really threw me for a loop, and that's mainly because if we take a look at the conference here, she says one of the answers here, whereas he only says one, and because his face is here, it's confusing. But anyways, during the conference, Sebastian Walsh, the police chief, claimed the case Beetle 4 was a tragic accident. And basically, if you look at the, the people on the slabs, you can figure it out through the autopsy reports that Beetle 4 is Isaac Nowak, which she says here, as the commissioner said, the death was a tragic accident. So that's the first one. And then the second one, the case Cougar 9 has a strong drug connection because they're trying to pass it off as some sort of drug cult or whatever. You can see him explain that there. And that completes that puzzle. Then, if we go to the victim, basically the big giveaway here is that the eyes are cut out because they're trying to hide the red curse, red eyes, but also the backwards K, because if we take a look at the autopsy table, we can see this guy's got the backwards K, which links him to Beetle, yada, yada, yada. So yes, this is a picture of Isaac Nowak from the case Beetle 4. His body lies on table B, and you can basically figure out it's table B from looking at the autopsy report and try to figure out, this guy's got the hemorrhaging from the blood, from the bullet wounds. This guy's got the throat stuff. So yeah, by process of elimination, you can figure out that this is table 4, or sorry, table B, even though it doesn't show it. And then his death is linked to the red curse because all the other, guys that are dying are linked to the red curse with the red eyes. Then, if we go to events, we've got New Wells Police scheduled a press conference to announce that Isaac Nowak had been the victim of the red curse. Before the conference, Elizabeth Nowak offered Sebastian Walsh a board position and a computer. Because if we take a look at the computer, you can see the note that is trying to basically say, hey, you want this position, don't you? Here's a computer in Sebastian's office. As a result, during the conference, Sebastian Walsh declared that Isaac Nowak had been the victim of a tragic accident. So they're basically trying to cover all that up. So that was a particularly tricky, but this is where, I think it definitely takes a jump in difficulty for sure. So let's get all the answers on the screen if we can here. Maybe if we move this over here and put this over here, then put this. It's kind of hard to get every single one, but yeah, this one, is kind of obvious here. So there we go. That's the answers to all the different puzzles, ladies and gentlemen. Hope that helped. I'll see you in the next level. Bye-bye. Okay, I completely forgot to do the stories because, yeah, you also have the story puzzles at the end of each chapter, which is really the tough stuff. So let's start with story number 1. This is the big boy here, which a lot of this you figure out through the trench coat and the various different, like, other things that you can click different information. But this is basically putting everything all together at the end of chapter 1. So, during a construction yard accident, the body of Luke Brown was found in a sewage pipe afflicted by a strange condition that police named the Red Curse. A few months later, the famous scientist Isaac Nowak was discovered dead by the Bagman couple. After being contacted by someone, Elizabeth Nowak worried that everyone would think Isaac Nowak had been a drug user. A few days later, Elizabeth Nowak offered to fund Brandon Bagman's tuition in exchange for confidentiality about the fact that Isaac Nowak had been affected by the Red Curse. And you know that through this poster, if you click it, like, yeah, Elizabeth Nowak is funding the tuition to keep it hush-hush. Hours before the conference, Sebastian Walsh was offered a similar deal and took it. However, the laboratory investigation found zero evidence that either Red Curse victim had been a drug user. And we can figure that out by hitting the the beaker or whatever that is there, and you basically find out, oh, they're not drug users. They just have some weird Red Curse going on. So that's story number 1, and then story number 2 really threw me for a loop. Shortly before his death, Isaac Nowak went to meet somebody at the Steelside warehouse. That threw me for a loop, and I think you figure that out in Isaac Nowak's notes, because he has like 3 different like locations or addresses or something. A few days later, someone connected to the Steelside warehouse provoked Elizabeth Nowak into bribing Sebastian Walsh, who stopped the investigation into Isaac Nowak's death, to keep everything hush-hush. So yeah, very confusing. A lot of stuff going on here. I can see people getting very confused, just like I was, trying to put all this together. But hope that helped for chapter 1. I'll see you in chapter 2.